Hi YouTube, this is BB, continuing on with my videos about being bullied in school from kindergarten to 12th grade, but really 3rd grade to the beginning of 8th grade. At one single school that was kindergarten to 8th grade, under one roof. Lots of classrooms, 2 classrooms per grade level while I was there. I think in my 6th and 7th grade school years, they added a kindergarten class, they added a 1st grade class, they added a 3rd, 2nd grade class, they added a third grade class, but by the time I was gone, they started adding more classrooms and remodeling classrooms to split them down the middle to make more student space but less learning space, so to speak. Less fun space, less classroom space, and more how many more desks can we fit in here? How many more airplane seats can we fit in here? It was that kind of thing. So I covered the human condition. I covered 3rd grade. Now I'm into 4th grade. 4th grade, 2001 school year. 4th grade. 2 4th grade classrooms, 2 teachers. Miss Price, aka Miss Keller. She got married later and changed her name to Miss Keller. Mrs. And then my other teacher was Miss Schwab, and Miss Schwab was my homeroom teacher. Miss Keller, Miss Price, oh my god, Miss Price, she was a pain. She had this thing where if you ever asked her a question of can I, she wouldn't respond. She would be rude and bitchy towards you as a kid, and she would wait, and then she would say, I don't know, can you? She was very condescending about it, and eventually you learned you had to always say may I. Sometimes you would say can I, and she would go can you, will you, I don't know, what's the choice, shoulda, woulda, coulda. She would literally do that to 4th graders. It was weird. It was condescending, it was rude, it was inconsiderate, it was mean. Maybe she grew up with really strict parents who always required her and her siblings to say, may I? Maybe she had a bad school experience with the whole same concept and she just repeated history and repeated someone else's crappy behavior. She was a pain. I remember maybe it was a handful of times, or a few times, or even one time. I was tired of always counting out loud. She had this thing where I don't remember why, but she always wanted students to count out loud, even though she just taught, reading or language arts or literature, whatever it was, in 4th grade. We always had to count to 10 at the beginning of the class period, or the class time, or the class block. As soon as we were in our seats and it was time to start language arts reading class, the first thing was we had to count to 10 or 20 or 30 or 50. She just required it. I don't remember why. Maybe we were counting by the minute. Maybe not. I don't know. But many times I would count in Japanese or in Spanish, and she would get so fucking upset. She made us do this every freaking day. It got tiring and boring, so I decided to entertain myself. Hey, I was 9, 10 years old, and it gets boring. It gets tedious. Other kids would do it too. A few kids who spoke Mandarin at home would count in Mandarin, and a few kids who had other languages at home would count in their languages. And everyone would get in trouble for doing that. And then we would get lunch detention, we would get timeout, we would get recess revoked. We would get the most infinitesimal, annoying repercussions or consequences for making something so tedious a little bit more entertaining for ourselves. I don't remember why she did that counting thing, anywhere from 1 to 10, 1 to 20, 1 to 50, 1 to 100 at the beginning of every language arts reading class every freaking day. I don't get it. So, yeah, she was a bully of a teacher. She would also deprive students of bathroom breaks. Not as frequently as Miss Stokes did for 3rd graders. Oh, and Miss Stokes retired at the end of that 3rd grade school year. So someone else took on the task to teach third grade after her. So when I was in fourth grade, no more Miss Stokes. Someone else took over the job in the same classroom, and I was in fourth grade with two equally shitty teachers. So fourth grade, what else? A lot of bullying. Um, just a lot of, the R word thrown at me. I remember a lot of field trips were fun, and my homeroom, we had just a lot of free time and free play. We still had a big classroom rug, area rug. We had a couch. We had two plushy chairs, some floor pillows to sit on. I think there was a dog bed in there just for the sake of making things more comfy for kids who wanted still to have that floor time. We had toys, we had card games, we had board games, we had puzzles, we had giant floor puzzles and train puzzles and number puzzles and giant floor puzzles of the United States. We had iMac computers. We had with games on them. One called Bugdom that was kind of like A Bug's Life or Ants, Pixar DreamWorks movies, but if you turn them into a computer game on an iMac. There was bullying. Remember, we'll go with Amy. Amy Arkin. Amy and Emily Arkin were twins, identical twin girls, who were chaotic and deviant. They were menacing. They caused a lot of trauma to a lot of kids. They caused trouble. They got the kids in trouble. They tattletaled. They ratted. They set people up. They had problems. They had so many problems that their problems weren't just at school. I think they had a single divorced mom. They saw their dad infrequently. They had 2 or 3 older stepbrothers from one of their parents' previous marriages who were infrequent. Over time, over the year, I think I went to their house once. That was a regret. 4th grade or 5th grade. I don't remember when. I don't remember where they lived. I think they lived near Albertsons, but I don't remember. But they had this Bonnie and Clyde type of twin sibling bond where they were just pure troublemakers for the sake of causing pure trouble. My mom always blamed it on, they were daycare kids. They were put in daycare as babies and they didn't get that bonding with their mom. People can still be raised at home by their parents and still turn out to be totally evil dickheads. So, I don't think that applies. I think they were just shitty people, shitty kids to begin with, and a few times I've looked at their Facebooks and Instagrams as an adult. Not Instagram, just Facebook. They look the same. Their Facebook posts are relatively in the same tone of voice they used growing up. Nothing's different. The police were often called to their home because they would attack each other or they would attack their mom. They spent weekends in juvenile detention. They were probation. They spoke very provocatively, like beginning 11, 12 years old. They had neutral light brown hair with some volume and real curls, but over time their hair kind of flattened. Emily was sometimes nicer. Amy was the true mean-spirited evil one. She just had no shame, no guilt, no guile. She was completely callous. I wouldn't doubt it if but by now she may be on the narcissistic level of a narcissistic woman, or if she's completely changed. I don't know. Emily was easier to get along with, at least for assignments or schoolwork. But outside of, a group assignment or a group project, Emily could still be as evil and shameless as her sister. She just had a little bit more of a conscience and a little bit more hesitancy sometimes to do certain things or follow her sister. Amy was the dominant one. Emily sometimes was one who toed the line and questioned with her facial expressions if she should follow her sister or not. Sometimes she would, sometimes she wouldn't. And one time in 4th grade, Amy The bell rang at the end of the school day. I think the last 30 minutes, it was all free time. Kids could just play. And I was putting some stuff away. The bell rang, and it was one of those tone bells. We didn't have the ringer bell. We had the toned electronic tone. It went for like 20 seconds. And then Amy just came out of nowhere and stepped literally right here to my ear and yelled, "It's time to go home." Stretching out every single letter sound, every syllable, every word. So loud. I don't think I passed out. I crumpled to the ground. And I cried immediately because she basically wanted to do it to break my eardrum. She was a bully. I remember she got lunch detention for that. Miss Schwab was right there, 2 feet away from me at that moment, talking to some other kids or something. But Amy got a ridiculous amount of, I think, a week of lunch detention and recess taken away. She was a terrible person as a kid. And that was just one of the more mild things. I can't remember a lot of the extreme things, but she was that kid who would corner other girls in bathrooms and prevent them from getting out of the bathroom stall. She was that girl who would go where a bookshelf is, a double-sided bookshelf. The skinny end of it is against a wall, and she would corner other girls between wall and bookshelf. Between desk and bookshelf. If a desk led to a dead end, and there was no way out besides the one way out, she would block their way out. That's what Amy did. Year after year after year, and she didn't really get any better at it. She didn't improve her bullying game. She just continued on the same stupid bullying ways every school year. So, this is my story, and that's some of the bullying of 4th grade. I was still called retarded a lot. I was still called retard a lot. That's why I don't like the word retard or retarded. Also, 4th grade, I think they started saying, "I feel sorry for you because you don't have any friends. I feel sorry for you because you're retarded." And I think that's when I began associating "I feel sorry for you" as an insult, as derogatory, as rude. And it was constant. It was daily or every other day. It was such a constant hurl of a phrase, of an insult, from 4th grade to 8th grade. From 4th grade to 7th grade. And to be honest, I don't remember really any negativity or extreme insults thrown at me in the 1 week of 8th grade I still stayed at that school. I remember the teachers sucked. They were blind to the most basic things. They were on tenure. They didn't have any passion. They didn't have any light in their eyes. They just went through the motions. That's what I remember. And so by that point, they didn't care whether there was going to be bullying or not. You could tell. Okay, so approaching the 14-minute mark. That's 4th grade for you. There were just a lot of days of being pushed and shoved and blocked from exiting a bathroom stall, blocked from exiting where a wall met furniture in the classroom, being yelled at in my ear because they think it's funny, being just emotionally beaten down a lot during that school year, and having one teacher who just, bullied students condescendingly, passive-aggressively, didn't care how much she hurt them or impacted them. Miss Price / Julie Keller, 4th grade teacher who did the whole "may I" condescending, and Kirsten Schwab, who was, I guess she was just burned out. But that's my story so far for 4th grade. Thank you.